Sussex Insider has claimed that Meghan Markle is currently plotting a big return to the United Kingdom for the first time since 2022. What do we know about this and Meghan Markle's plans to finally go back to the UK?
Yeah, I was really excited to read about this because it's
in a breathtaking twist that sent shockwaves through Meghan Markle's inner circle. The gates of high society quietly closed in her face. Serena Williams, once considered her closest confidant, has reportedly left Meghan behind, opting instead for an elite getaway to Lake Como with none other than the poised and universally admired Emma, the Marchioness of Bath. Insiders whisper that Meghan wasn't just left out. She was directly told she no longer fits the energy. What was once celebrated as a deep sisterly bond between Meghan and Serena now feels more like a carefully curated illusion, crafted more for cameras than for connection.
In recent weeks, we've been talking about the Sussexes possibly having a bit of a peace summit, a reconciliation with the royal family, and I was kind of, mystified a bit. I thought, well, hang on, what's Meghan's role in this? Where's she sitting? And a reporter who spoke to the Daily Mail said,
behind the scenes, Meghan's endless self-promotion and non-stop royal drama seem to have finally taken their toll, even on her most loyal friends. Serena Williams, known for her grace and quiet strategy, is now gently stepping back, putting space between herself and what insiders are calling the Markle effect, a storm of headlines, entitlement, and never-ending controversy. Let's be real, Serena stood by Meghan through one scandal after another. But even the strongest bonds can wear thin when the spotlight gets too heavy.
Is giving it her blessing. She does want to move forward with this reconciliation because she has big plans, and these big plans all sort of surround the 2027 Invictus Games, which will be in Birmingham. So a big return. This is Harry's signature charity, his signature event.
From cheering her on in the royal pews at the wedding to standing up for her in interviews, Serena was always there. But even the deepest loyalty can only stretch so far. Behind closed doors, those close to the tennis icon say she's grown tired. Worn down by Meghan's endless narratives of being wronged, misread, and mistreated by both the royals and Hollywood. Meanwhile, Serena is stepping into a new chapter, one filled with motherhood, business ventures, and a quiet, graceful kind of power.
And, 2027 sounds like quite a while away, but really it's not.
No.
I mean, if you think about it, the last time Meghan was in the UK was 2022. So that was, nearly 3 years ago. So I think that she's kind of smoothing the way a bit with the royal family because she knows that in 2027...
Meghan, it seems, is still caught in the loop of her own grievance-fueled world. But this trip wasn't just a fun escape for the girls. It was a quiet, deliberate goodbye. Enter Emma Thynn, the woman Meghan once hoped to be. Graceful, noble, and embraced by Britain's aristocracy without the noise. No drama, no blame games, no tell-all interviews. And the irony? Emma, too, is of mixed heritage. Yet she made history with quiet dignity, becoming the UK's first black Marchioness. No spectacle needed.
She's got her friend, Uncle Daniel's there. And then there's the Argentinian woman. And then there's a chef she brings in and Mindy Kaling. So there are no questions or comments about them, except there's one in episode.
And yet Emma did it all without ever casting herself as a victim. Serena reportedly called her calm, grounded, and no-nonsense, a stark contrast to how insiders now describe Meghan, who they say drains a room before she even walks in Emma's presence. On that luxurious trip wasn't a coincidence. She represents everything. Meghan couldn't become poised, accepted, and admired without chaos or controversy. This is where it all starts to unravel. Meghan was once part of a private group chat filled with influential women, including Serena, but over time sources say she began to dominate every conversation, turning every topic into a monologue about her own mistreatment, demanding constant validation and turning joyful moments into comparisons about being overlooked. Eventually, the group had enough, quietly archiving the old chat and creating a new one without her. That trip wasn't just a getaway, it was the first gathering of the new circle, and Meghan didn't even make the list for Serena, whose image relies on power, grace, and precision. The choice was clear, and the message couldn't have been louder.
In something other than themselves.
Ka-ching! Whoa, Brittany! Meghan Markle has just been totally exposed by Megyn Kelly. Isn't that astonishing?
Especially now, as Serena steps deeper into the worlds of fashion, finance, and global speaking, image and peace matter more than ever, and let's be honest, Meghan Markle has become walking baggage. Her name alone stirs up a storm of tabloid drama. Paparazzi chases, PR spin, Netflix controversies, lawsuits, and endless royal rants. It just doesn't stop. One of Serena's business partners reportedly didn't sugarcoat it, warning her that if Meghan's coming discretion is out the window, that hit hard. This trip wasn't just a getaway, it was a moment for calm healing and real privacy, and Meghan's presence would have shattered all of that. No one wants to spend a peaceful weekend calculating every move to avoid the headlines or managing someone else's brand drama. And here's the sting. According to sources in Montecito, Meghan found out about the trip and didn't just sit with the news. She reached out not just to Serena.
Know any of the people she's talking with. She's trying to make sure everything looks super perfect, and she just doesn't come across well in any of the interactions at all, really, that she doesn't really know them. And one time she sort of gave somebody like a backhanded compliment, I thought, where...
But she didn't just reach out to Serena, she contacted a few of the other women too, sending texts, calls, voice notes, all of which were met with silence or short polite replies. Serena gave the most graceful response, saying simply, "We're keeping this one super intimate," which behind the diplomacy clearly meant you're not invited. To make it sting even more, the phrase "you can't party with us" started as a joke during the planning, but quickly went viral, turning into a headline. Meghan built her entire image around empowerment and inclusion, now finds herself shut out by the very elite circles she once worked so hard to be part of. This wasn't petty, it was a quiet line in the sand, a boundary drawn by powerful women who were simply done, and as the dust settles, we're watching something bigger unfold. Meghan's once glittering Hollywood network is crumbling slowly, one friend, one partner, one ally at a time.
To get the royals that gave her that title.
Did you notice that at the end of every episode, it says, like, the starring, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex?
Yes.
That's how she's billed.
Yes.
On the credit.
And now we turn to Emma Thynn, whose quiet, graceful rise is casting a long, elegant shadow over Meghan's increasingly dramatic fall from social grace. This story is far from finished, so stay with us because the unraveling is only beginning as Meghan Markle reels from the cold shoulder dealt by Serena Williams and the exclusive Lake Como circle. The ripple effect is spreading far beyond the aristocratic bubble. The shockwaves are hitting Hollywood too, the very world Meghan once fought so hard to claim as her own, and now quietly, carefully, it's shutting her out. Meanwhile, Emma Thynn star continues to rise. She's becoming everything Meghan once hoped to be but couldn't quite reach. Let's dive into the growing social divide that's reshaping Meghan's reality and what it means moving forward. Once upon a time, her Hollywood dreams were carried by a powerful list of A-listers, Oprah Winfrey, George Clooney, and more, but those once solid connections have started to crack. Sources close to Meghan say the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. Strained friendships, broken alliances, and bridges that may never be rebuilt. Multiple insiders now point to the same issues. Meghan's relentless media push, her endless legal battles, and the need to control every.
Yeah, Meghan does, to a certain extent, thrive on confusion. But I think this confusion isn't helping her because everybody's like, well, what do we call you? You're still calling yourself the Duchess of Sussex, but then you're also calling yourself Meghan Sussex.
Have pushed many of her former supporters away. One insider put it plainly, people are exhausted by the Markle circus. They want to collaborate with professionals, not someone who constantly stirs controversy. Even her closest partners have started to pull back, afraid that their own reputations could suffer just by being associated with her. This slow but steady exile from Hollywood mirrors the social shutout she's now facing in Britain's elite circles. The list of Meghan's stalled or failed projects keeps getting longer. Her headline-grabbing Netflix deal has yet to deliver any major hits, with several big-name projects quietly shelved. Insiders point to creative clashes and Meghan's growing reputation for being difficult to work with. They also say her constant portrayal of herself as a victim no longer fits in an industry that now values authenticity and true collaboration. What once looked like a clear path to power is quickly drying up, and the Serena snub, a move from one of Hollywood's most respected power players, only confirms that shift. Then there's Emma Thynn, the Marchioness of Bath, a complete contrast to Meghan's loud media-forward approach. Emma leads with quiet strength, real philanthropy, and sincere ties to British aristocracy and business. Her influence isn't demanded, it's earned. Her charm comes from many layers. She embraces her cultural roots with confidence, moves through royal-adjacent spaces with ease, and has steered clear of public mess. That kind of authenticity, the kind that doesn't need to be constantly proven, is exactly what draws people like Serena Williams. To her, drama-free, meaningful connections are the new currency, and Emma has it. Meghan's public
embracing her.
Battles with the press, the royals, and beyond have only highlighted the divide. Netflix appearances and constant headlines have turned her into a lightning rod for controversy. Social insiders say this ongoing chaos acts like a slow social poison, quietly pushing old friends away and making new ones think twice. One well-connected socialite put it bluntly, being Meghan's friend means always being in the spotlight, and often for all the wrong reasons. That kind of pressure is draining and dangerous, especially for women who are balancing high-powered careers and public reputations. There's simply too much at stake to keep weathering the storm of Meghan's drama and Serena Williams' decision to leave. Meghan off the guest list wasn't emotional, it was strategic, as Serena expands her legacy beyond tennis into global business, fashion, and family. She's choosing peace, privacy, and genuine energy by bringing in Emma Thynn and shutting Meghan out. Serena sent a crystal clear message. The old alliances built on shared headlines and curated photo ops are being replaced by friendships that are real, rooted, and resilient. This is more than a trip, it's a social reset, a clear boundary. Meghan is no longer invited to cross. For years, Meghan has tried to shape her public image as a champion of empowerment and inclusion, but that message has clashed with a constant stream of negative press, PR battles, and personal conflicts instead of drawing support. It's made many see her as more self-absorbed than sincere, and that disconnect was fully exposed. With Serena's quiet but powerful snub friends and insiders are now left wondering if Meghan truly understands the social and professional toll of the choices she's made. The Markle effect, once seen as bold and disruptive, is now being quietly avoided. Once a buzzword for influence and bold change, the Markle effect has now become shorthand for drama and constant controversy in an attempt to shift the narrative. Meghan has rolled out a series of PR efforts, charitable ventures, and media-driven projects, from championing women's rights to speaking on climate change. She's trying to prove there's more to her than royal headlines, but critics aren't convinced. Many say these gestures come off as curated and performative rather than heartfelt. The public and even potential allies remain hesitant, sensing that her appearances are more about salvaging popularity than showing real personal growth. And Meghan's history of broken relationships stretches far beyond Serena. There are reports of fallouts with close friends, collaborators, and even palace staff, all pointing to a larger issue, a struggle to maintain lasting trust and stable connections. The same pattern has followed her into Hollywood, where several projects have fizzled and major players now quietly distance themselves. In elite social circles, her outsider status still lingers, hard to shake, especially when compared to someone like Emma Thynn, who has steadily earned goodwill with quiet strength and grace. At the center of Meghan's uphill battle is a growing lack of perceived authenticity and trust in worlds like Hollywood and high society, where genuine relationships, humility, and consistency are everything. Insiders feel Meghan still hasn't delivered, and rebuilding that trust won't come from press releases or spotlight interviews. It takes time, vulnerability, and the courage to step back and do the work behind the scenes, away from the cameras. Critics aren't sure she's ready to take that path or even willing to try.